Recording in progress. Set up the Facebook thing. Just a minute. I get no kick from champagne. All right. A little bar is going across. Your meeting is being live streamed. Yes, it is. We're almost there. And we are live, George.
Thank you, Thomas Fucaloro. My name is not Barbara Walters. I am George Wallace. I'm the editor of this book, New York City from the Inside, which is out this summer, anthology of poetry, 179 poets about New York, and many of them from New York. The whole summer of these readings. And thanks to Grey Weather for Media for allowing us to bring on a feature spot, one of the poets for the next 5 weeks in this month, to do their poem from the book and possibly something else. I'm delighted for the first person today to bring to you Diana Gitesha Hernandez, also known as Gitesha. She's a New York City poet, bred in Brooklyn, although born in Santurce, Puerto Rico, and a longtime resident of Loisaida in Manhattan. A multimedia performance artist, poet, jazz singer, drum percussionist. She's the author of several collections of poetry, a contributor to this anthology, as well as an anthology of Puerto Rican women writers in New York, 1980 to 2012. Her band, Gitesha Jazz, Boogaloo, Latin, Orgasmic Orchestra, or Distillery, and Soulful Distancing Jazz performs regularly in New York City. And she's coming today with a basic accompanist. Please welcome Diana Gitesha Hernandez.
Just unmute yourself, Dan.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay, just let me know if we're going over and tell me, like, give me a 3-minute marking or something, like say 3. Okay? Okay, so let's start off with Fool's Rush In. This is always longer than we think. Yep, slow. Before time. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So 1, 2, 3. 10 butterflies. Rake in gold from earth, brain spun in cocoon. No road maps needed here. Stop, glazed wings, relax and spin. Make for a carefree gin of now elated mesh of wow. Free in this still point, press a spell sublime of flower, honey, and a vine. On trembling toes they go ascend, these petulant butterflies rise and flutter all about, so quietly one hardly knows. A garden story's woe of caterpillars' stolen bliss, from carcass to evolving effervescent goddesses, groomed for the sky, rose and petal luminescent, take to this ephemeral flight, and with thee go I, as one imbued in radiance, rising to a brilliant surprise. My first one. I'm gonna do another one called Night Mikey of Lower East Side. And this is for Miguel Pinheiro, for those who knew him. Yeah, I see your hands, David. Okay. Oye, Mikey, pa eso bebe. Pa eso fuma. Pa eso te puya. Desolate streets of omniscient heights. Mikey liked to tread the dimly lit skies that enveloped the mystery, caught between islands and city minds on the cutting edge, causing one to skid over ever-thinning ice. His domain was the impenetrable backwoods of Urbania, leaving those with comfortable lives shaky and suspended, gaping over black holes, holding tightly so as not to fall, yet mesmerized and suspended, captives to the night all the same. How could I have guessed from that first encounter, seeing him across the street hunched over in a crowd, talking jive, ghetto shit, head in a scarf like some bleary-eyed gypsy king, that he would soon come to whet the appetite of my then 18-year-old burning desire for some unadulterated truth. That this hustler like mystery man could possess a secret weapon to penetrate my soul. Enter poesia. That his verbal incantations could be enough to resuscitate life to the mean streets, citified, crucified, crucifrito-eyed peoples on poverty lines with tenement lives that sputtered, aimlessly transfixed betwixt Puerto Rico and the Lower East Side. This arranged common law marriage melee, arraigned, held hostage to slippery passageways, revolving to nowhere soon. Like a quick fix for those his chosen few, he offered his life a sonnet, unmasking myths and picking locks apart to concoct a semblance of a fit. Did it matter that he was thief, junkie, abused, a user using and surely confused to some perhaps? But what about his magic cup of soup that he would so readily pour like a tonic of home-brewed coquito, herb from his tongue concocted to transmute home-down pain from shameful, deadening experience into necessary live voltage? He was hip-hop, bebop, salsa friar, jailbird crier, writer by hire, Bastella's licking, actor sticking, palm tree slider, poet flyer, mesmerizing, hypnotizer, shyster, heister, meister, mock, crucified, U.S. Conyo, A1 street anointed, most appointed, icon, New Yorican, Hibaro, in and out of the hood. And how many more habichuelas will it take to make that thing go papi? Mixing batter, unzipping lips to sip from the hip, cunnilingus style turned tricks, night ecstasy by any Zen standards could fly. His language had the power to heal, yes, to heal, improbable as that may seem to most. Our boy Mickey of the la 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 Loisaida. La 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 la, Supermaned his way in through our barricaded doors, disarming us out from under mosquito-netted beds of hiding, offering up an ultimatum to hand over the shame of being penetrated victim and victimizer, perpetrated ghettoites for speaking Spanglish as our national language. That arraigned and branded us into images that would betray us in order to retain us as complacent zombieites that could be duped out of our paradise, compromised for the price of a ticket on a welfare line, belittled, ridiculed, and ruled by blatant conquering lies, be placed under self-inflicted lock and key, deaf, dumb, and blind. Betty Crocker, humble python, complacent consumer rights, now ready to be eaten up alive. Silencio, mijito, cógelo con calma, mi santo. No, not this time. No lousy lotto licking mousy for our main man on the prowl. Mickey understood the secret. Change it a little. handles of control, and as King Kong proceeds to disengage chains, unshackling minds, or Johnny Appleseed with a job to do comes clean, gots to spill the beans if you want to stay alive. To those round here, his shortcomings mattered about as much as any priestly confession should. But who would beckon to Jimmy the Lock if not a thief? Then why is it that they ask that one needs so much attitude, altitude, just to stay alive down those mean, lean streets of the Lower East Side? But to hear Mickey read a poem was to be purged of all recollected misgivings, to be stripped, dazzled, and rectified, to be doused in warm electric fluid that could bolt up and down your spine, shock treatment that to wake up the sleepy, mummified, bribed into believing that we are but lowly Frankensteins. Now carted up upon the shoulder of a one-armed bandito, ay bendito, jumping subway rides, infiltrating enemy lines, delivering our carcasses safely to the other side. New York, Hollywood, Miami Vice, TV Land, Theater World with OB Prize, taking by surprise well-appointed dignitaries on a funkadelic hayride through the untamed, vastly yet uncharted grounds to homeboy lover like no other, Loisaida. We as golden tooth exotic superfly. Here at last, fresh from the hood, our ancient Taino, African Spanish roots dirged up, blend, whole, ground, or brewed. Cheap thrills for the mighty and refined, served cold, hot, steamed, or chilled. The next viable curio off sweaty assembly lines. Spickin' Nuyorican frickin' more than just a one-night stand. Cup Jones flavor of the day. Our secret hip-hop salsa stew of soulful rhythm, rhymes, and blues. Like once out by popular demand, could not be made to disappear. Proclaimed sublime, divine, and mighty fine by New York Times, Newsday people, look in life as unsuspecting travelers off hustling, bustling Broadway lines would be caught. Hook, line, and sinker. Out of time, staccato. Fixed and bound, tripping, slipping, tipping, treading steadily downtown now, east and bound, round his warm, dark, liquid eyes, orbits inner space, calm but for a moment, then with voice begins to race, sputters, mutter into matter, lathers, and with arms swung open wide, explodes, propels a leap in speech defying gravity, gone out of sight, then como like panther, plunging, plummets, plops, dead center stage, returns, unmasked and framed, a la Robin Hood come home, about to divvy out the contents of his sack, like a pretty boy Rican with his finely chiseled features, resembling so many other brothers from our familiar salsa corners, yet his ever-ready aura would distinct him. Sparkle from afar like champagne beer about to burst out of the confines of a newly shaken bottle or a match about to catch and draw you indiscriminately near to cook you whole into melau, milk sugar, that made you want to blow your way across the room, to bring yourself into his atmosphere, knows, where his ravaged soul or spirit, however mangled, could be found still unearthly beautiful, like some rare transported flowers having been ripped, uprooted, and badly potted, live just long enough to bloom. Yet we still recall the scent. Mikey, had it like that. Thank you.
Diana Gitesha Hernandez, fabulous.
So
Beautiful
I'm
tribute.
gonna do the one poem now from George Wallace's book, New York from the Inside. Thank you so much for
James.
inviting me to read here and to be part of this wonderful compilation. Breakdown, New York City. Climbing through the bathroom window, skirted with cobwebs, coarse spiders and tight corsets. Lost in popsicle orange, vanilla lips pursed. Don't do it. Blow me some East River smoke ring. Let me rappel up your building, a poet's lurch at skyscrapers. Las mañanas, yesterday's skipping rope in the sunlight lit streets of matchbook beer can studded Bed-Stuy, tenderized by a sweltering heat. All along the watchtower, do that twist till we reach the Coney Island of the mind that escapes revelry. And I am once again with you. Strange, deafening sounds, sirens and silence, all in quarantine. I race to the top of my building and do the hustle, wanting to face those large, bright stars again. They conjure Tito Puente spirit, Harlem Nights, and the rhythms of Mongo, Santana. Always my girl Billy at midnight, her bloodshot eyes, writing poems to Still Yet Nina and Nikki and Miguel, and the movement that was always supposed to be about freedom, hope. A heartbeat drumming in my aorta, enlarging my heart, sugarcaning my veins. The dreamy past that blew in with its bag of tricks. Pieces of the jigsaw cut from Fifth Avenue to Queens, Manhattan, and the Bronx to Coney Island, where my mother's fried chicken, perfumed by mango oil, still floats in a gust of white and yellow flowers. Give us back our memories. Ransacked and extinguished. Take it in shadows, mix it up and highball and walk around like a mass time bomb or a vanishing ghost. Take your pick, sniff your vaccine, find it again, run, begin to bop as the alarm in your computerized DNA brain, synapses firing, reminds you that whatever happens next, time is running out. Better mail in your New York City postcards now.
Thank you, Diana Gitesha Hernandez.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I love that poem. And the tribute to Miguel Algarin, who's also
No, it's that to Miguel Pinheiro, who was
Miguel Pinheiro, yeah.
yeah, he was a
Fabulous.
fierce influence at the New York Poets Cafe, along with Miguel Algarin.
Yeah.
Do we have time for one more?
No, we don't actually. We're over. So I'm going to turn it back to Thomas.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, George. Just want to let you all know a few commercials. This Sunday at the Parkside Lounge, Jerry Johnson hosts,
Thank you.
and he has Pete Dolak and Amy Small McKinney. And then next Wednesday, for our 10-minute feature, we are back celebrating this amazing NYC anthology with Charlie Pellegrino. That's it for tonight. Diana, do you want to leave us with a final thought, a final something to end the evening?
I wish that I would have thought about that before, but keep writing. As in the words of Steve Cannon, just read that poem, and I'm saying just write that poem.
Fantastic. We will end our Wednesday night on Write That Poem. Everyone have a great, safe, and healthy Wednesday.
Thank you so much. Mark Nelms on bass.